Wow. As I was listening to that, I thought, General Bolesky, sir, one, thank you for the comments, but I really ought to start dragging you to some interviews with me because you can really help me get the job. I really appreciate those kind words. General Meyer, sir, thank you for being here today. To my family and friends who traveled from Kansas City and St. Louis, and my friends here in the room, people I've been dealing with for many years now, thank you for all being here today. When I was trying to think over the last couple of weeks what I would say today, I kind of struggled. What would I say? What would I say to be short and concise and say something witty? But everything kept bringing me back to one central theme, and that's just gratitude. Deep, intense gratitude. I've lived an extraordinary life just by my association with the Army. The Army has been so good to me. And we have a saying in the Army that the Army is people. It's not tanks, it's not Bradleys, it's not helicopters, it's not artillery pieces. It's people and the relationships that we maintain with each other. It was about this time 30 years ago, actually 33 years ago, that I first enlisted in the Army. And I've met some extraordinary people along the way. But one person I ran into after I had my first tour, actually during my first tour in Germany, Second Lieutenant Ralph Wagner. I didn't know much about being an officer other than what I learned in basic training. I knew that they were to be respected. Generally, if you're talking to an officer, you might be in trouble. So generally, just kind of avoid them. But Ralph Wagner, my platoon leader, took an interest in me. And he's the one who talked me into applying for an ROTC scholarship and becoming an officer. And he was an extraordinary leader. And from the very beginning, I started to respect people in the Army who showed me the way, and I realized that's who I want to be. I want to be like Ralph Wagner. And eventually I got a commission through ROTC. Then I met another extraordinary person, Major Robert Donnelly, who convinced me to go armor, and he was a public affairs officer at the time. And he talked a lot about public affairs, always with love in his heart. So that's how I eventually became a public affairs officer. When it came time to choose, I chose to become a public affairs officer. So two extraordinary people who had an incredible impact on my life, on the path that I took. And along the way, I've met many other people who've taken an interest in me. General Bolesky, sir, you've been an awesome leader. I've only known you about 8 months now, but you strike me as somebody who cares deeply about the people who are under him. So, sir, thank you for taking the interest in me. Thanks for trying to develop me in the short time that you had with me. But I really appreciate it, sir. And then to all of you, I can't name so many people in here who's touched my life, but by being here today, you certainly touched my life. And the Army's given me some personal opportunities. There in the second row, I'd like to mention my second family, the Ardreys. Ellen Ardrey, one day she was looking for a slug, and everybody in the room knows what a slug is. But for those who are outside of Washington, D.C., a slug is a third person or a fourth person. You don't know them, but you pick them up. And when you pick them up, you're allowed to go into the high occupancy vehicle lane to zip to the Pentagon. So one day in 1999, I was standing out there at the bus stop in uniform, and Ellen picked me up because she needed a third slug to make the HOV line. And from that brief starting relationship, Larry and I have gone extremely close to that family. There are 4 kids. She's done daycare from the very beginning, from the time they were born almost. And they've been really our surrogate children. So, Ellen, thank you for giving me the memories. We'll always stay in contact. We love you. We love Ed. We love, to the end of the earth, your kids. And that's just been extraordinary. No round of gratitude, though, would be complete without thanking my wife. Marianne has been an extraordinary partner. She is, without a doubt, the most compassionate, most intuitive, most loving person I've ever met. And you've been a great part of my life, hon. Now you're going to have me full time. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to growing into old age with you. And you've always been my partner. You've always kept me on the straight and narrow. So I want to honor an Army tradition here and give my better half, my wife, a set of roses here. Thank you. So for those who don't know, I'm going to Kansas City to reunite with Larry Ann. I have no idea what I'm going to do next. I don't have a job offer, but I don't really care because in the first 53 years of my life, I've lived an entire lifetime of experiences and opportunities, and I really, really have to thank the Army for that. I know people who have a calling, it's God or some kind of alternative. I found my calling in the Army, and it's just been extraordinary. But now it's time to go. I go with some trepidation, but I'm going to do like General MacArthur said, old soldiers never die, they just fade away. So now I'm going to fade away, but I hope to see or hear, at least hear from all of you someday down the range. So long to you all. Thank you.